Welcome to my live stream, live from Bangkok, Thailand, where I live. Today I'm going to show you something that most of you probably have never seen before. And I later will teach you how you can do this yourself, because this is everything that is causing your love life, relationship life, sex life just basically suck. And we're going to talk about a couple of things. One is, why what's happening is can only be fixed when all men start watching videos like this and understand, one, what they're doing wrong. And trust me, I'm going to show you some sick shit in a second. And secondly, what we can do to fix it. Because if dating world would ever go back in Western countries, not here in Thailand, it's fine here. It's when we start talking about this. So what I'm going to show you today in a few seconds is a screenshots of some messages that some women here in Southeast Asia. I've traveled pretty much to almost every country in Southeast Asia. I made some female friends, and some of them have been, dating and asking me questions, and I was helping them how to kind of navigate dating apps. And so they've been sending me screenshots. And this one girl just sent me a couple of screenshots a couple of days ago. The screenshots of what guys send her without, these are the first messages right away. We're not talking about hi, how are you, what you're looking for, none of that stuff. Now, I also asked her to show me her profile, and I just want to make sure that her profile looks legit. It looks like she is actually looking for a relationship. There are no, pictures in a bikini on the yacht, none of that bullshit. No indication that she is looking for anything casual, that she is a freelancer, as we call them here, which is a code word for hooker, and indeed, this girl, I know her profile was fine because I helped her put it together specifically to avoid messages like this. Now, let me show you the first message that this guy sent her. And here it is. Now, this is, again, this is the very first message. Now, this is Adam from London. Honestly, I wish Adam sees this and reaches out to me, because we need to talk. And by the way, this is not just Adam from London. Well, by the way, I can reach out to him, and I thought about it because he left his WhatsApp. But as you can see, he basically says he's going to be visiting here, and he wants to get a girl for 40 days in Pattaya. I will explain what that means in a second, for 60,000 Thai baht. Okay, so 60,000 Thai baht, it is about, let me calculate. I probably should have done it, but 60,000 Thai baht is over 2,000 American dollars, which is okay money here. Nothing fancy, right? And right away, he is giving the WhatsApp ID. Now, I did ask her to reply. Normally, I say, hey, just block this fucking losers. But I said, go ahead and reply just to see, why is he what's behind this, right? So his reply was now, as she was starting to find out, he all of a sudden realizes he was being very cheap. He now says 70,000 for 42 days. Somehow he decided to stay for 2 days. And he said, basically, I'll fuck you in the morning, afternoon, at night. No condom. Okay, let's talk about this. Now, this is stupid in so many different ways. Let's just start with a couple of things that anybody with half a goddamn brain would know they should never, ever fucking do this. First of all, this is Bangkok, and STDs here are running wild. Well, because idiots like this come out and bang girls without condoms. And of course, we have, sex industry and all of that stuff. As a matter of fact, I think the safest sex you'll ever have is probably with a hooker here. So number one mistake, right? He's absolutely going to leave with some gifts. If he's going to do it, first of all. Secondly, obviously, he can get a girl pregnant, which he obviously doesn't give a shit about, but that's just fucking immoral. That is awful. So that's number two. But let me go back so you guys know. He said, in which message? Which one of this shitty message? Okay, this one, right? He leaves his phone number. right? Now, obviously, I or her or anybody can publish his face because I have his face, I have WhatsApp number, I have his name and location. I can track this guy down literally to his fucking pathetic hole in the wall that he lives in London. And there are quite a few things that that he probably doesn't understand. One, I can do it, she can do it. He doesn't understand there's plenty of women's groups out there that will literally share information of these creeps, and he can get his HR department may get an an email from these women. He can be just shamed online, and everybody will know that he is a creep. I decided not to post his face and his number. I might reach out to him myself actually, because I just want to know what guys like this think. And by the way, the reason I'm talking about it is because this happens all the time. This is not about just Adam from London, okay? There are so many guys who come here and do this. And by the way, the reason I'm showing the messages of guys who come here for Southeast Asian women is because they do the same thing in their countries, in America, in Great Britain, in Europe, and it's not, except for this. Here, their behavior gets really amplified. I've noticed that behavior of foreigners here, they think that anything goes. They think there will be no repercussions because many times there aren't. They just think that they can be as creepy as they want, like no one's watching. But we're watching, Adam. And so we're just talking about some basic stupid behavior that this guy is willing to engage in, right? Now, of course, it's also a waste of his time, because if you would just look at profiles, the profiles of hookers and girls who are willing to do this are not that hard to figure out, okay? They're usually in bikinis or little hoe outfits. They're usually with tattoos and nose rings and all that bullshit, right? They're all trying to imitate an American girl for you because they want your American or, UK money. But this particular girl, if he would have looked at, he had to look at her profile, right, to actually contact her. He could have saved himself time and not put himself at this much risk, right? So let's just get a bunch of things out of the way. Now, he also says that he will be in Pattaya, right? Let me tell you, Pattaya is literally the worst place in Thailand. I love Thailand. I love Thai people. I love almost everything about it. That's why I moved here permanently. But Pattaya is the worst place here in Thailand, and I may even argue in Southeast Asia. Like, it attracts the worst fucking types of men, specifically foreigners. Like, for example, me, if a guy says to me that I'm, maybe mad at the party somewhere or whatever, trying to make friends, if a guy says that he even goes regularly, just visits Pattaya regularly, I would never be friends with them. If a girl says she's ever lived or lives in Pattaya, I would never touch her with a 6-foot pole. And as the quality of foreigners and men there is just trash, it kind of brings the local culture down as well, right? Because local Thai people there, which are normally very amazing people, they start behaving kind of because they're dealing with this creeps all the time, right? So another girl, actually, who I know here in Bangkok, and she just went to Pattaya with her Thai friends, and she said she was just basically sexually assaulted every 5 minutes or so, just guys touching it and stuff like that. And, I know she does not dress to be confused with a hooker in Pattaya. So this guy is also, obviously, if he's coming to Thailand, he's specifically going to Pattaya. Trust me, he's been there before. He wouldn't be sending messages like this. He knows exactly what that shithole is, and he's more than willing to participate and be the shit in that hole. And I don't know. I'm not trying to call him names, but this is the only way I can actually describe him. But let's talk about something that's actually bigger than Adam from London. You have to understand that men nowadays just flat out concede, like Adam here, that they're not worth anything to a woman. Meaning, even when you come here to Thailand, being a foreigner is definitely right away puts you in kind of a higher category, right? You're unique a lot of times. You carry a culture that a lot of Thai people actually very much fascinated with and like. You obviously have more money than an average guy in Thailand, and many positive things. As soon as you just show up, and as long as you have a pulse here, you already have a great opportunity to be something here, right? Even if you're a loser in your country, I'm sure Adam is, of origin here, just you're already fascinated by having a pulse. So it's kind of like starting a bit of a new life with a bit of a push, right? And yet, these men who obviously weren't worth anything to a woman back where they came from, but here they're not even willing to try. They right away concede that they bring nothing to the table with a woman, not the personality, not their sense of humor, not their education, not maybe their fact that they've traveled the world and they can tell you stories. They bring none of that. And by the way, Pattaya is where most women will speak English because supply and demand. So it's not like a language is going to be that much of a problem there. So, but these men completely 100% concede that they're not worth anything except for the money that they bring and will pay to. The only way a girl would ever agree to be around them and have sex with them is if they essentially pay for it. Now, I got to tell you, Adam is not wrong. It's probably a perfect self-assessment that he is not worth anything except for the money he's going to bring here to Southeast Asia. And this is what I think that men have to do. Because I think if you live in America, Great Britain, or any other Western country, without a doubt, you know that dating is awful. Right? The behavior of women, the demands, the entitlement, and the fact that they pretty much bring nothing to the table anymore is quite obvious. But the reason why that's happening is because, women don't have to bring anything to the table anymore. One, a lot of times they don't want to because guys like Adam are everywhere. Like I said, Adam is not the only guy here who's a loser and got nothing going on. A lot of guys are this way for different reasons. And secondly, these women know that, listen, the only thing they are going to get from these guys is not the, sense of humor or interesting personality or this good decision making. None of that. They're just going to get money. So that's how this vicious circle started. And I don't blame women really for that. I mean, that's a shitty thing that a lot of them are doing, and most of them are doing. This is why guys like me basically bail and they live in other countries. And besides women who would take money from Adam and close their eyes and do it anyway, most of the women here are amazing, especially if you speak Thai. Women who don't speak English are the most amazing women in the world. They're amazing. I was with one tonight, and I've known her for more than a year now. They are all amazing. So, and this is why I've started this channel to basically tell you guys about the fact that you just need to leave. And of course, I tell you how you can do that, of course.
If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.
Now, before, and this is in my course as well, but before you even think about coming here, and even if you want to stay and date in the country of your origin, a lot of these guys, they bring themselves with them. So if you were a loser in Great Britain like Adam, or in America, whatever, you're going to come in here and you're still going to get the same type of women who essentially will only hang out with you for money that you would in your country of origin. Good women will never ever come up to you. A lot of people think, oh, these passport bros, they just come over there and all these women jump on them. No, they don't. Good women here have plenty of options, and they would rather go for an average Thai guy, which usually is a good guy, hardworking guy, than go with a loser like Adam, who might have a little bit more money, but I don't think people understand how little money matter to a lot of these women unless they're actually hookers. There's pretty much no homeless here. Everybody lives, maybe not in the luxury high, apartments with Mercedes-Benz's parked in front of their condos, but they do okay. And they're much happier. By the way, an average type person is so much happier than a rich person in America or Europe. It's not even funny. So they don't fucking need our money. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I was like, well, obviously I don't want to date a girl who's, with me for my money, but I would like her to appreciate my money for what my money means, because it means that I've been hardworking all of my life. I've been disciplined, right? I was able to save money. I was able to make something out of myself. I was able to start a business and continue the business and make investments on own property and all of that stuff. Like, that takes a lot of good skills that women should be looking for in men. And if anything, please look at my money and know that I am all of those things. And a lot of times they just don't care. So believe me, money, unfortunately, does not go that far here if you actually want to date. But the problem is, that, guys like Adam, essentially, and there are a lot of them, basically screw it up for all of us. But what I'm trying to say is that before you come here, before you even try to think that you deserve to date a good traditional girl here, you have to improve yourself. You have to become someone who is educated and interesting and offer something more than money. Because if you just offer money like Adam here, you will just get the hookers of different types, okay? You can call them whatever you want, sugar babies, girls who are, have high standards, or what you call them what you want. But essentially, they're hookers. I call them prostitutes 2.0. It's just a newer version that hides it a little bit well and makes you feel a little bit better about being a John, And the apps like Tinder and Bumble are essentially just hooker or prostitute 2.0 agencies for sex work. So So guys, you need to do better. Like, we as men need to do better. What happened with this guy, where he just absolutely concedes that all he's got to offer is money, it's a shame. It's a shame. And the fact, and let me, by the way, tell you how you can experience this yourself. Just create an account on Tinder, for example, but create it as a girl, and then either find some pictures or AI generate some pictures of just an average girl. Don't generate a hottie, just generate an average girl, a 5, okay? And then just put something stupid in the profile, like, whatever they put in their profiles, looking to date with intention, no losers, like that's gonna help, and then just wait and see what happens. Within minutes and definitely hours, you will have guys like Adam here, the screenshots that I showed you guys, and I can probably show you again if you're joining me late, simping, giving them compliments, and again, average girl, simping, giving them compliments, and offering them money. This is the thing. You guys think you're going to come here to Southeast Asia and think, oh, these poor girls, they don't have any choices, they don't know what they're worth. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. You can find a girl in a remote village here, and as long as she has one of these in her hands with a reception, and they all do, they know exactly what they're worth, because let me show you this image, because this girl wasn't even asking, right? Now she knows she's worth 70,000 baht in 42 days, and if she negotiates it will probably go, a little bit higher. So she knows without even asking. So every single and definitely beautiful girl everywhere on the planet where you can reach her with the internet absolutely knows her price in local currency and US dollars and euros. So the fact that you think you're going to come in and find these girls who are just innocent and will take you for whatever is just fucking stupid. These girls who are looking for money know exactly what they're worth. But if you want to find a good girl, she will be looking beyond your money. And if you have nothing to offer, then that's what is going to happen to you. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely the same thing that was happening to you as you were a loser in Great Britain or America or France or whatever in Germany. And this happens all the time. These guys here, some to visit like Adam, but a lot of them to stay, and they live here. And I watch them basically either continuously be single. You'll see them at this area called Sukhumvit here, where all these losers on a Friday and Saturday night will sit there, hang their bellies on the table, smoke and drink beer, and be single. Because, like I said, good women don't want them here either. Or you will see them with essentially prostitutes 2.0. And some of them are just prostitutes 1.0 as well. And by the way, nothing against prostitutes 1.0. They're awesome. I'm all for it. I think it's a great service. It's actually, it's great. As long as it's not trafficking based, which a lot of them are not. People think like, oh, it's all traffic. No, it's not. I've already talked to some girls here, why they actually go into this profession. And a lot of times it's because, they don't want to work very hard all day, 12-hour days, 6, days a week, like these good girls do for 500 baht a day. They want to earn, 5,000 baht a day and work a little bit less, less hours, if you will. And that's why they do it. It's not because, they're so poor or they have sick families. Some are, but most of the time it's just because they don't mind. So, I don't want to go too much on a tangent on this, but just so you understand, this is, I believe it's quite an important profession. All right, so request, can you show the screenshots again? I joined late. Absolutely. So we're talking about this messages that one of the girls here in Thailand I know who posted an absolutely normal profile got right away from this guy. And again, I don't want to specifically say this is just one guy. I'm saying a lot of men are this way. So you can see he offered her money right away. He's coming to the most disgusting spot on the planet for disgusting men, one of the lowest quality of men, which he is. He offered her money right away, even though her profile was normal. He didn't mind being exposed with his phone number that I can publicize right now. I have a screenshot that's not blurred, right? This phone number can be shared in many groups out there, and you can easily trace him down to his apartment, right? And then, of course, he basically said he doesn't want to use condom, which is stupid in so many different ways here in Bangkok and Thailand because STDs are running rampant here. So it is, but my point is that it is what it is here, and it shows what kind of men we have right now in a Western world. Men need to improve. Men need to improve before coming here or trying to get a good girl anywhere. And because this is how men behave nowadays, women sort of reply in kind. And that's why you guys in the West, in America, and in Europe don't have too many choices, because guys like Adam from London are essentially right away admit how useless they are in their messages here. And honestly, turn women off. I mean, this girl, she told me like, I get so many of these messages. I don't want to even be on this app. I mean, like I took my time, I put the profile together. I put pictures appropriately. I know she did because I helped her. And then boom, this is what I get. I don't even get good men, right? Because good men like me, we don't go to those apps because Adams of the world's already fucked it up for us, right? Because Tinder and Bumble, they've all turned into basically prostitution brothels. And if you want to get a hooker, yeah, that's a great place to find one. But like, I don't even have Tinder installed anymore or Bumble. I kind of stopped online dating even here. I only have Thai-friendly website, which still very much full of hookers. Again, no offense, they're always very polite and provide great service, but there are a few good girls that are still kind of on those apps. One of I just met somebody who just moved here from also Great Britain, and he was asking me how do you find good women here? Because he's also kind of came in and right away, he started hanging out with these girls, and he's like, this is the same as I had back home. I was like, yeah, but here's the thing, man. If you want a good girl, it's no longer that easy. You have to work on yourself. Are you a good provider? Are you a good man just generally? Are you able to treat women well? Do you have something to offer besides your money? Because again, the money doesn't really go as far as when you're buying, mango sticky rice here or an apartment or. So, do you have something to offer? And here's what you have to do. Thai women and women in many of these countries, if they speak English, they're already gone. They're already westernized. They already figured out what Beyonce and Taylor Swift and all of those con artists told them. I don't need no man, and you need to be gold digger, and so, girl power. So I told him, I said, listen, if you're moving here, you start learning Thai. You start learning Thai. Not only you will have access to women that most foreigners won't. You will understand the culture, which is very also important. You will be able to talk to her family, not just to her, right? And it is, so start learning. I mean, it's been almost 2 years for me. I'm starting to speak Thai. I only date women who don't speak English. It's still kind of rough. I just had a date, and today my brain wasn't working as well, and I didn't understand as much. So we had to use a little bit of Google Translate. But overall, it's getting better. My Thai is definitely getting better. And the only way, essentially, I shouldn't say the only, but the best way to meet women nowadays, and I would even suggest that even if you do want to try to date women in America or Europe and not move out, which I suggest 100% of the time, if you want to date women in anywhere, you have to meet them through friends and family. This week, actually, 2 things have happened to me where I have a friend who lives in province. He has a wife, and I went there for the first time to meet his family, and they liked me. And this time I'm coming back, this weekend. And as I was coming, this week, he said, my wife actually has a good girl for you that she would like you to meet because she thinks that you guys are going to be a good match. She doesn't speak English. She doesn't have any tattoos, pretty much no red flags. But women like this, you won't find them. First of all, you won't find them in Bangkok, all right? Secondly, you won't find them at Starbucks or nightclubs or dating apps. They're just not there. These are the good girls. You know what the good girls do? They spend time with their family in the evening, they go to bed, and then they go to work. And then once in a while, they'll meet their friends at the park or one of someone's house. So these girls are just not available for you to meet, especially as a foreigner who lives in Bangkok. So project the situation or whatever situation you have, right? And that's how it's going to happen. And then also, somebody who I know in my professional life here also said, hey, listen, Alex, I actually met this girl who I thought was perfect, and I talked to her about you, and I showed her a picture. She's interested. We're going to try to put you guys together. And so now, guess what? These girls will already be told, hey, when you're meeting this guy, please understand he is a very rare guy here. He is a foreigner who is, well off, who's respectful. He understands the culture. We vetted him. He speaks, some Thai. Don't fuck it up. So you think these girls who are they're putting together, you think they will be late for the date or not show up for the date? Do you think they will ever ghost me, just decide to ghost me? Do you think that they will dress inappropriately for the date? Put the nose ring in? No. These are, this is where your friends and family essentially and her friends vet you, myself, which I'm happy to be vetted, and they do the same thing with her. So none of the behavior that you see with women when you go out with them, when you meet them at the nightclubs and Starbucks of the world and, Tinders of the world, none of this bullshit is going to happen when you meet them. But again, we as men have to improve. We cannot only offer money because, again, we're only going to get hookers in return. And if you want to get a girlfriend, if you want to be in a relationship, and even if you want to be in casual relationships, right now I'm very happy in 3 amazing casual relationships. You still need to be something to these women beyond just their John, right? And so that's I don't know how did this happen? How did this happen? I mean, I would love to meet Adam and just see, is he really a loser, or he just yet another guy who's probably maybe could be somebody, could be interesting, could be funny, and he just gave up on himself and just doesn't even try, That's the problem. Until we fix this as men together, we can't expect these women to behave any differently or be, anything else but hoes. I mean, all of these, red pill guys on Myron and probably, these hoes. Who created these hoes? I mean, this guy tried to make a good girl into a hoe, right? It's a shame. Camden says that he is watching from California. We're in California. I'm from California. I lived in San Jose, Sacramento, and Oakland. So let me know. But California is a tough place to date. But hang in there. He says, I know a girl who has a boyfriend and uses Tinder to get free dinners. Oh yeah. By the way, it's no different here. I know plenty of guys who are good looking, make good money, educated, and they come here and they don't really even know that they don't need to simp, and they continue to simp over and over and over. These guys come here and they end up basically buying dinners for these girls. Because, by the way, Thai girls who speak English and they realize that most of these foreigners are simps, they adjust quickly. They're not stupid. You don't even have to be that smart to understand that you can game these losers and simps very quickly, right? I know like guys who technically should be top 1%, except for they behave like Adam, like they're bottom 1%, and these girls clean them up. $100 to $200 dinners. And mind you, $100, $200, people pay rent here, $50. I mean, this is like, and these girls get dinners out of these guys. And do nothing in return, by the way, nothing in return. I mean, even if these guys were getting laid after these dinners, they're not getting a good deal because you can hire a hooker much cheaper than a dinner like that with these girls. And they wouldn't waste their time listening to them because most women are fucking boring and not interesting. So in this case, she has a boyfriend. He's probably a simp, and that's why she knows. She's not afraid of getting caught. She's not afraid of disrespecting him because she knows that if he will ever find out and doubt her, which he probably won't, he will find and replace him with another, Adam from London, another simp. So that's why she's not afraid. And yeah, girls do this all the time. And the problem is, it's not even these girls, right? She's only behaving this way because she can. This girl knows she can because she has a spineless boyfriend who is a simp, and there's more spineless simps who will buy her dinners. Stop fucking buying dinners to these girls on the first or second or third date. Your budget for a date, for the first date, should be no more than my budget here. My budget here is $300, which is about $8. That's more than enough for one drink, maybe a cup of coffee. That's it. That's all. If a girl does not want to meet with you and still be bought a drink, it's not like it's still money, then don't fucking meet her. Don't fucking meet her. And again, save your dollars and then hire the professional who you don't need to worry about. Like you just, she'll provide the service, you'll pay her money, and you'll be done. And it will be guaranteed everything that you want out of your first date with her. Yeah. And so this behavior, again, it's disgusting. But guess who enabled it? Us men. And even here, I'm telling you, I mean, I have tried dating some Western women or sometimes even a Thai girl who speaks English, and she does appear like she's nice. And I was like, all right, okay, I'll give her a chance. And every goddamn time they know exactly exactly what's going on. He says, horrible. I do think that she's in the minority. No, she's not. Because majority of men in America, specifically single men in America and married to, are simps. And on one hand, I do blame men in terms of they need to take responsibility and change. But on another hand, this is how they were brought up. American culture raised the generation of simps, and there are very few men like me who at some point, I used to be a simp, at some point woke up and say, oh, holy shit, this is fucked up. I better change. I better have some boundaries. I better have some respect for myself. And only then I can demand respect for myself from women, But if you don't have any respect for yourself, then, why would women do that? They're just going to take your money. And, like I said, I don't really technically blame them. So no, the majority of men in America are simps, and therefore the majority of women in America are behaving this way. We call them modern, women. It's the new breed. The new breed of men are called simps, right? And the new breed of women are who essentially suck these simps dry for, money and compliments and the number one drug, really, attention. Like if you're in a dating app, what the fuck are you doing? Honestly, I'm sorry to tell you this. If you're in a dating app, you're a loser. And stop being a loser. Stop. Erase your dating apps. You're not going to meet anybody on these dating apps worth shit. Even if you're going to once in a while, but I get laid once in a while. The amount of money that you spend altogether on these dinners and drinks and all, and the amount of time you could have spent earning more money is nowhere close to if you would have just paid a professional and save yourself time at the very least, and definitely most of the time money, even in America. Definitely here, but definitely also and most likely in America. So it is, so right. Okay, so Camden, let me know, do you have dating apps? Are you ready to get rid of them? Because that's not how you're going to meet women. You have to meet them in person. You have to meet them in certain places. Like, for example, Zumba classes and cycling classes. Majority of those classes are women. They're usually, in good shape. You can check out all of their legs and butts at once, as long as you get the spot at the back of the class, and also they will right away know that, you come there regularly, they've seen them there, it's essentially, usually it's part of the gym, right? Go to those places, go to, try to be introduced through friends, but most importantly, I'm going to do this again to you, but please listen up because this is very important.
If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change.
Excellent, shitty technology. Great. Okay, so this is, I think, the only choice you really have if you want to ever date, traditional women. Kevin says he is from Davis, California, pretty close to Sacramento. That's right. Davis usually hosts like annual Electric Vehicle Association parties. It is a college town. Girls there are young, and honestly, a lot of them want to have careers. And Davis is usually the school where the way you pay for it, right? UC Davis is either you have a rich daddy and you're already used to a man in your life consistently giving you money, right? And your future boyfriend and husband will have to do the same. So I would say stay away from them. Or they know they can pay off their student loans because they are picking careers that will pay money. And of course, dating women with careers is a big no-no. Absolutely date women with a job. I'm just about to post a video about that later this week, but don't date women with careers. All right, he says, I don't use dating apps anymore. I had Tinder for a month a few years ago, and I haven't used it since. Waste of time. Good man. Now, let me ask you this. And, this is a question for a lot of you guys because, a lot of people think, a lot of men think that, Alex moved to Thailand, but, he's just this digital nomad and world traveler. He probably has, a lot of money and all that stuff, which is fine. But, I can never do this, So let me ask you, Camden, since you're already, hanging out here with me, what is stopping you from, getting up and leaving America? I mean, have you realized that you're not going to find a wife there? You're not. I'm sorry. Not like, I know you're young. You're probably in your 20s, right? It's not going to happen anytime soon. Do you realize that you're better off in more ways than one, not just with dating? I mean, with healthcare, with lack of crime. I mean, Davis and Sacramento, the crime. With just so many other things, you're just going to be better off in Southeast Asia, South America, even in Africa. I'm actually going, I can't 100% confirm Africa yet, but I will be going to Africa to a couple of countries specifically, I'm going to have a great vacation, and I've never been to Africa. It's definitely on my bucket list, but I definitely want to see what the dating life is like there because, in America, in the last 15 years, I've only dated black women, and there are none here essentially. So I actually wanted to go and see what is like an African community. Have women also become modernized? Because I'm going to Kenya, for example, where almost everybody speaks English, or are these still traditional women? And it is a good destination for a single man. It is something that I'll definitely let you know. But do you realize that these are pretty much your only choices right now? Is to either just stop dating, maybe use the professionals to get yourself through it, or leave and go to a different country. I don't want to promote my course anymore that I already have, but part of my course is that a lot of guys say, well, my profession, my career, it's one of those things that you have to do in person. Well, first of all, fuck your career. What are you going to do? I mean, honestly, what do you need all this money and career for if you're not going to have a wife and a family? Secondly, you can create your own career, and you don't even have to earn that much money here. If you figure out how to make $1,000 a month, which honestly, 1 or 2 years of hard work, starting any side hustle, most guys should be able to get done. You can already move to another country. $1,000, right? Once you made $1,000, you'll figure out how to make $2,000. Maybe another year, but fine. On $2,000, you can live decently here, pretty decently. And if you figure out how to make $3,000, shit, man, game over. So I mean, I live here at about $3,000, and honestly, I don't even look at prices. I do whatever the hell I want. I live in an amazing apartment with an amazing view. Full service, one of the best condos in Southeast Asia. I go to one of the best hospitals in Southeast Asia for doctors and healthcare. And that, I mean, we're talking about $3,000. And don't forget, as an American, and again, I'm not giving tax advice, but please look into a foreign income tax exclusion, because if you are going to make another country your home, you do no longer have to definitely pay state tax, but you don't have to pay a federal income tax up to a certain number, which is quite high actually. So if I recommend these to the guys, either start your anyway from YouTube channel or go to like Upwork and see what people pay money for, because a lot of you guys speak 2 languages. You can be a translator and get hired from anywhere in the world and make that money. Or you can simply, pick a computer game you like and and try to get hired as customer support for that game or for that company. So you'll be talking about your favorite game and helping other people play a favorite game or favorite product or whatever. And you can get a night shift, which here is day, and you can sit there and work for $30,000, $40,000 a year, essentially pay almost no taxes, and have an amazing freaking life here. I still recommend that you run your own sort of business or income. If you're older, you should already have some property that should be giving you money, or portfolio, investment portfolio. I have both. I have investment portfolio and I have some property, but I also earn my own money with active income, doing social media and stuff like that. Listen, and by the way, I don't even have any talents. I'm not a talented guy. I have zero talents. My only talent is that I'm very persistent in doing hard work. Okay, it's almost 2:00 in the morning. I had a wonderful girl in my bedroom, and I told her she has to go home because I have to do work. And I'm doing this live stream, and after that, I'm going to post, another video on most of my social media platforms, and then I'm going to prep for tomorrow, some scripts so I can film some videos tomorrow for you guys. So you know what I mean? So it's work, but you got to do it. You absolutely got to do it, because it will provide you with a much, much better life, not just the dating life, definitely dating life. And, I keep saying this because I don't think a lot of people really understand, when you get here, like when I got here, I was like looking for a wife, because I've always been in wonderful relationships, unlike many guys, especially young guys in America and Europe. I remember what a good woman is, not all of them stay good women. That's why I don't have one anymore. But, I remember what good women are. And when I talk to younger guys, sometimes, or just guys stuck in the shitty marriages, or should I just say marriages, and I tell them what my ex-girlfriend used to do, or what women here, traditional women who I date, do for me, like, I blow their minds. They don't even understand that these are the things that women would do for men on daily basis. These are not big heroic acts that these women do for me. Like, I'll give you an example. I love this example. I give this a million times. If you've been watching my channel, you've heard me say this a million times. When I walk into my apartment, usually the girl I'm with, first thing she does, goes, gets my slippers, puts right in front of me, make sure that I'm comfortable right away in my own home. And if she sees that my bed is not made, which it rarely is, I'm a very disciplined man. I make my bed. Then she will go and fix my bed. I don't eat at home. Because I'm on a diet. But if there's any little bit of a mess, they will clean it before they even take off their clothes. I mean, jackets and shoes and stuff like that. So, this is what it's like. And a lot of you guys, young guys, I don't know if Camden here in the chat is aware, but this is what it's like to date an amazing traditional woman. That's when it's worth it. But at the same time, when I got here, I realized, I would love to have another long-term relationship. And here, I don't mind getting married. I would never get married in America, but here I don't mind getting married. But at the same time, if that never happens to me, if I will never be in a long-term relationship, which even a couple of years ago was like, oh my God, I cannot believe like this would ruin my life. Not anymore. I am perfectly fine with, the amount of choices you have here in this normal society. You can date a few girls at the same time that, are great. That's what I'm doing. You can pay your way and have, hookers blow you all the way to your grave, whatever, and a combination of that. It's really, you have so many choices. You start thinking like, do I really want a wife at this point? I still want one, but I do no longer need one. And I think that's something that men end up realizing here, unless they come here like Adam from London. That's how we started this live stream, and simp and essentially expose themselves as guys who have nothing to offer except for their money. And that's, I guess, we come in full circle now, is that, please, if you're a man, you absolutely have to improve. Shalom, Roman, how are you? It's a must. It's a must. Even if, like, here's the thing. I think that I am, a pretty good husband material. But every day I try to improve yourself. For example, sometimes it's not even improvement, by the way, guys. Sometimes it's about just continuously being a good man. So, for example, I try to do one good deed per day. And it's really easy to do it here. It was much harder in America. But, anything from giving somebody a compliment and making their day, to helping somebody with something, or maybe paying someone's bill, which here it is a big deal. It's not like, oh, thanks, this guy gave me $20. So now whatever, I feel that. No, sometimes you can really help people out here with relatively little. When it's raining here, I usually carry an extra umbrella or an extra plastic poncho. So if I see like an older woman who is standing there at the subway station, waiting for the rain to stop because she doesn't have an umbrella, I always give her an extra umbrella that I have so she can get home to her family, be dry and be safe. So I try to do these good deeds, every day, because just being part of a high value man, or even if you want to be one and being part of a good man, you need to do good things every day. But you should also improve. And men in America a lot of times don't even know that they're simping. They don't even know that they're right away admitting they have no value to these women, and therefore just basically offering them cash, which these women take, and thus the vicious circle we were talking about. So it is something that we need to stop together. And this is what this channel is all about. Is I really hope I can encourage you guys to stop simping. I mean, first, I guess this is a much bigger issue, but realize you're simping. Just look it up. Look it up. I have video about it. You can just literally Google what simping is and stop doing that. And then make something of yourself. Start, part of making something of yourself as a man is drawing boundaries, and demanding respect from women. The way the way men allow, to disrespect themselves. I mean, I'm going to go back to Camden's. Just in case if you just joined me, Camden, one of the viewers, said that he knows this one girl who has a boyfriend, and yet she still goes on Tinder and basically makes sure that guys pay for dinners, get free dinners, and of course give them nothing in return. At some point, guys, this needs to stop. I don't know how long you want to do this. I can't imagine anybody, I get a lot of comments now that my channel is, I know it's a new channel. It's only my third month, not even 3 months. But I'm starting to get comments, and I have not seen too many comments, and by that I mean 0 comments from men in America or Europe who would have told me, I'm happy with my choices, I'm happy with my dating life. And a lot of guys who are in a relationship are telling me that they're not even happy with their dating life, and I don't blame them. Listen, I've already made the jump to the country that I absolutely love, and big part of it is this amazing respect for men, the gender roles, the traditional culture, traditional women with family values. But it's you guys have to change the culture in America, in Europe, and it starts with right now. Starts right now. Roman says, I'm very happy that more and more men with a sense of self-worth are starting to speak up and enlighten other men. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you. I have to say, Roman, I don't know if you know, I actually had another YouTube channel. It was about electric cars and a couple of other things that I had going on for me, which I kind of had to put on pause and essentially shut down, because I knew as soon as I start doing this, I will be canceled everywhere else, right? Also, I know, because I already know some other influencers who are in the same space. I know that they get death threats. I know that women try to cancel their channels and take their videos down. I just go in a comment section on maybe Red Note is probably the best place to look at all the fucking hate towards me by these women. And they hate me because I left them alone. My whole concept, I'm a passport bro. I ditched these modern women. I left them alone. They can have fun with Sims. They can fun with their cats. They can all count their empty bottles of, antidepressants together. I'm out. I'm not even saying anything. Just I don't want to be around. And they just hate me for it. So I know the hate will start. I know they will try to, if I was in America, I would probably have to, I already had a gun in America, but I would probably have a few more weapons. I would probably have to build an actual real fence around my house. And I already have cameras, and I would have to really protect myself and carry a gun everywhere I go, because this is what's happening to men who are trying to speak out on everyone's behalf. And then, social media platforms like TikTok, for example, and I literally just made a video with this guy. His name is Dan. He runs a much bigger channel, Men Need to Be Heard. And we just talked about how TikTok, essentially, you can easily tell, has a policy of trying to shut down any influencers, any creators who speak out on behalf of men and boys. You can tell that when there's a bunch of nasty, sexist and offensive and violent, calls to violence, calls from these women, against men like me and everybody else who's speaking out. And you can report them all you want. TikTok will be like, no, it's fine. But if you say anything, very often I make a comment. I don't know why I keep making it, because it gets flagged and it gets taken down. But I say, a woman would be really ratchet and going off at, men in America using sexist language and all of that stuff. And I would, say, well, gee, thank God I don't have to deal with women like this, because now I left and I went to live in Thailand. That comment would be removed for hate speech on TikTok. And of course they do this bots who remove it automatically. They figured out, you are hurting women's feelings, and you suggesting that they may not be perfect while they're being ratchet and fuck. How dare you? We're going to take it down. Then you can submit an appeal, and I'm assuming one of the woke, team members there look at it and go like, oh, you little piece of shit, you dared to actually speak up for men and boys and try to hold all of these women responsible. How dare you? Hate speech, boom, we're removing this comment. So you go against so much shit here when you start this channel, and I was prepared for it. I know there will be some things that will probably endanger my well-being, that will endanger my income, but I am so passionate about it. And by the way, in the next week and 2 and 3 weeks, I will be releasing some videos with probably the most prominent men's rights activist in the entire America, Paul Elam. And yes, Elam is male spelled backwards, even though it is his real last name. And please tune in for that. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do. And of course, don't forget about my course, which I think is very important.
If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.
All right. If there are no more comments, thanks for hanging out with me. This has been, I like doing live streams. Obviously, there will be more and more of you guys watching. Actually, a lot of people watch this after I'm done with my live stream, even though I tried to do this, it's 2 o'clock in the morning here, but I know it's like a little past noon and in America. But thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for getting some comments in. I really appreciate it. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. All right. This one's not even open.